Hello everybody and a very warm welcome back to my latest video. I do hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. If you are a regular viewer on my channel, you know I have a segment which is called Hidden Jewels of Soul and Disco, where I try to put spotlight on certain artists, certain records and certain labels. In some cases, it's not possible to do this with a certain album, even if I think it's an absolutely stellar record, because there are zero to no information available. So a couple of days ago, I did a video in German where I presented 5 records which absolutely fit into that category, but which I wanted to present in some form or the other to let you know, hey, it's out there and it's wonderful. And actually many of my English speaking viewers got in touch with me if I could please do an English version of that video. Well, here it is. But instead of doing a straight copy of my German video, I exchanged every album and included, and in this case it's even 6 records in this video, where I would love to do a whole episode about each album, but during the lack of information, it's not possible. I also try, if YouTube is allowing it, to include a short song snippet of a song which is included on the records to give you an impression. Shall we start? All right. This record was released in 1976 and kind of officially doesn't exist. It obviously does, because I'm holding it in my hand. So the thing is that the catalog number BDS 5688 is actually, if you look up in the Buddha catalog, the soundtrack to Next Man, which was also released on Buddha and also released in 1976. There is zero information about Betty and Dee. There is no information about songwriting. We have the producer, we have a later Enterprises, we have a collection is done by Kika Music, but that's it pretty much so far. And this record was under the radar for many years. So you could find it very cheap and it was somehow also available. Well, that changed during the last 3 to 4 years, so people got aware of it, and now the price is increasing, and I can highly suggest that you check out that record. Therefore, let's have a listen.
I found comfort running back to in the past.
Next one on my list is 1619 Badass Band, which was released on the now infamous TSG label, which was a tech scam label in the late 70s. And all of the original records from that label are tremendously rare and tremendously expensive. So this is an absolutely great funk record. It was released in 1976 and a re-release or reissue came out on Graham International in 1978. And there are some tiny little snippets known about the 1619 Badass Band, but not so much that you could fill up a whole episode to cover or feature the group. So this is the back of the record. If you want to have this record, I highly suggest that you check out the P1 reissues of this. They're absolutely fantastic. My holiest grail is the Topics Giving Up. I don't think that I will ever own an original copy of this record because it's so rare and so expensive, but I also highly suggest that you check out the Topics Giving Up. But yeah, 1690 Badass Band. Let's have a listen.
We got to live as one and still be two, I say, because when you're gone, I'll still be here.
Let's get into some gospel. What we here have is Faye. This is a blessing, and it was also signed by Faye. It was released, I think, in 1981. It's an absolutely stellar kind of disco boogie gospel record. And it's absolutely amazing. I do love this record, and especially if you look at this wonderful font, I just love it. Here is the back. I also try to get more information because on many of the gospel records back in the day, you had of kind of booking information. And well, I tried to call that number up here, but of course, of course it didn't work. But at least I tried. So you have some tiny information about Faith. So she was born in Los Angeles to Tom Hill and Heidi Hill, and they were also former gospel singer. So at an early age, Faith sang before many church audiences, and people became aware of the rare musical gift that she possessed. Her warm and vibrant voice seemed to capture the audience. As she grew, it has ripened to full bloom. Faith's singing communicates true gospel feeling, and her inner strength is more stronger by her personal commitment to Christ. This is Faith's life endeavor. I know I'm her father, and it is for sure an absolutely brilliant record. But unfortunately, there is not so much information available about her. So to get you a good impression, let's have a listen. This next one is Hilton Fon, was released in the early 80s, A Man for All Reasons. It was released on his own Hilton Concept Incorporated record label, where he released a couple of albums. And yeah, finding some information, and I think the largest amount of information I ever found about him was on the back of this record. It's a fantastic, if you're having like this time of the year, around this time of the year, summer's coming up and you're looking for a record that captures that feeling, I highly suggest Hilton Fon. Like I said, he released a couple of other albums on this label, and I absolutely love it. But yeah, he was a singer, he was a composer, he was a jazz pianist, so it's also very jazzy, kind of boogie disco record. I absolutely adore it, but unfortunately also about him, there are not many informations available. But what I can tell you is that I would highly suggest that you check out his catalog, and maybe there is something you like. And I would say, let's have a listen. A record which I just recently got into my collection, and I was totally over the moon to finally found it, is Leon Debussy, and I hope I spell his name correct, is A Fine Instrument. This was released in 1977, and Leon was a singer from Miami, and that's all the information we have. He's a singer from Miami. He recorded that album, and yeah, that's it. In later years, some singles from this album were released. Where he went, where he came from, what happened, nothing. If you have additional information about Leon, please let me know. Write it down in the comments below. This was released on Bold Record, which was distributed by TK Productions. And yeah, they're also on the back, unfortunately, no text, no information. But I love this record, and I really want to point out the track Black Stallion. You're gonna love Black Stallion, I'm pretty sure. He also co-wrote that one. And also In the Neighborhood is a great song. Getting With It Baby was also co-written by him. So yeah, a fantastic record. Like I said, I'm over the moon to have finally found a decent copy of that album. And yeah, like I said, if you have any kind of information about it, please let me know. And I would say let's have a listen to one of my favorite tracks from that album, Black Stallion.
Running wild and free.
Next to the TSG label, there are also quite a few other labels which now became quite legendary because of the vinyl community, the vinyl records collectors, and also a documentary, because there's one record in particular which was released on Marble, which is now a kind of cult classic, and this is Time and Place by Lee Moses. Finding an original copy is not so easy nowadays. I kept that original price sticker for 99 cents on it because it's such an iconic thing, because finding this record around less than $1,000 is nowadays, in a good condition, is nowadays quite difficult. So I really kept that sticker. I got this record many moons ago, so and I still got it for a decent price. But yeah, with the upcoming vinyl haze, this got really in the spotlight and really sought after. And another album on Marble, next to Gloria Barnes, for example, which is, I think, the most sought after album on Marble. This is around $3,500 if you find it. There's also Mabuse Madness M2. Was also released on Marble, and finding information about this group is also not possible. Even on the back we have like zero information. We have, of course, all platinum records because this was distributed, it was a sub-label, and the artist is Mabuse Madness. We have who produced it, but otherwise no information. And I do really dig that record. Thankfully, it's still a little bit under the radar, but also you need to pay at least $500 to $800 to find a decent copy of this one. And I wish there would be more information available. I wish there would be more reissues available, because yeah, budget-wise, it's getting really to a point where it's crazy, more than crazy. But you know my opinion about this. So yeah, Mabuse Madness, also a record I highly suggest. Honestly, I don't know if there's a reissue available from this one, but I do think there might be one. And also I highly suggest that you check out that record. Here's a snippet. I do hope you enjoyed that little video in English, now with 5 or I think 6 records where I can't track down any informations. If you have additional informations on any of these albums or artists, please write it down in the comments, write me an email. I would highly appreciate that. I'm wishing you guys a great weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, listen to good music, and I